Midnight light on a dim-lit screen, clicking through stories you wouldn't believe. Cold case trails and courtroom scenes, whispers from the grave and media dreams. Truth is stranger, hearts beat faster in the shadows of a news disaster. Scrolling deep where secrets hide, found the stories time won't deny. Headstones and headlines, the tales collide. Justice and mystery side by side. From backwoods crimes to breaking news lines, you shine a light where the silence lies. Oh, headstones and headlines, your tales collide. Justice and mystery side by side. From backwoods crimes to breaking news lines, you shine a light where the silence lies. Oh, headstones and headlines, you dig where the truth won't die. Small town rumors and urban fear, a voice for the lost who can't speak here. Through every name, through every case, you hold the truth in a steady place. Cameras roll but justice lingers, truth unravels through careful fingers. You tell the stories, speak their names in a world that's quick to look away. Headstones and headlines, the tales collide. Justice and mystery side by side. From missing files to late night trials, you trace the echoes through every mile. Oh, headstones and headlines, your tales collide. Justice and mystery side by side. From missing files to late night trials, you trace the echoes through every mile. Oh, headstones and headlines, you dig where the truth won't die. Some run from the dark, you walk right in with a question and a camera lens. It's not just a crime, it's the lives they live. The voices still talking from the books unread. Headstones and headlines, the veil is thin. Truth gets louder when you begin. With every view, every line, bring the forgotten back to life. Oh, headstones and headlines, you dig where the truth won't die. Yeah, headstones and headlines, you tell the stories that time can't hide.
Hey everyone, how are you? I didn't know if that song was going to end. I can't remember how long it was. I was trying something new today with just playing the music instead of the video, the intro video, and I'm like, I don't remember the song being this long, so I need to figure that out. But thanks for being here, especially on short notice. I hadn't planned on going live, but there was a story that I had seen yesterday that happened in, well, actually, I saw it yesterday, but it happened on, today's Thursday, on Tuesday night. And it is tragic. A woman who was stepping out of her car fell into a manhole where the cover had been loosened and somehow came off and lost her life. So it makes you think, when I get out of my car, I don't really look down to see where I'm stepping. I just open my door and I get out and I, move it along. And this woman just was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So that is, we're going to talk about that. And then I have a few other stories that I saw in my feed. So thanks for being here. As I said, let me get on the right screen here. So I saw Lost Lily was here first. Marie, thanks for being here. Cheese, Shady, good to see you. Lunatic, hey Limey, thanks for stopping in. Tuned in, I can't make chat, it's late here, have a blast. Well, I appreciate you stopping in. Yeah, always be aware of your surroundings. I saw another video today, and I thought about putting it on this live stream, but there wasn't like a whole lot of information. But there was this boy was crossing the street. His school bus had given him the all clear to cross because the bus was stopped. There was no traffic. All of a sudden, as the boy is crossing in front of the bus, this car comes in the opposite direction like a bat out of hell. And this kid was grazed by the car. Like the kid just had, for some reason, he looked and he just moved his hips just enough where the car grazed him. It was so scary to see. And like I said, this car had to have come like a bat out of hell because the bus driver would have seen the car and told the boy, to wait. But hopefully they can catch who the person is. The bus didn't have exterior cameras, so I'm not sure if they'll be able to get a plate, but hopefully they can, because God forbid that kid, didn't react when he did. So we're going to get started. There's not much going on in my life. Mommy cat did get spayed yesterday, so I had her separate from her kittens, but she was like crying and kind of stressed out. The babies were kind of stressed out because they could hear the mama crying. So I just put her back with her babies. I keep checking, where they did the surgery. You would never know that she had surgery yesterday. The incision is probably an inch, and they use the absorbable glue. So there's no stitches or anything like that. I'm amazed. So babies are with mommy again, and Stimpy has actually already been reserved. So he gets to go home next week. And then we're still looking for a home for Ren and mommy cat. I don't think it did either, Center. Now that I look, usually I see like a little pop-up. Thanks for being here. Okie Crime News, thanks for being here. Hey, Joe. Smoking, good to see you. All right, so we're going to get started because I had said it probably won't be very long. I just have a few stories. I've been trying to work on my computer because, as we know, last time it was acting ridiculous. I think it has something to do with the fact that Windows, when you buy a new computer, just stuffs it with all of these programs you don't need. So my goal over the weekend is to just eliminate all the programs that I don't need. And that way, hopefully, it will help things move a little bit smoother. Nanny, did I click? Oh, I didn't even click it. Good. Nanny Sharon, member for 15 months. Thanks for being here with me that long, especially lately because I've been so sporadic and at times not going live at all. So, hey, Why Wonder, first time. Well, thank you for being here. This is my main channel. My second channel is Beneath the Headstones, and I normally do drama over there. Although there hasn't been a whole lot of drama. Well, there has been drama, but I'm ignoring the drama because I'm hoping that if I ignore the drama, it will go away. But it doesn't seem like ignoring is working very well because, man, the digs just keep happening. All right, let me skim through quick. Hey, Evil Queen, thanks for being here. Oh, it did work. Oh, it was at the bottom of the page? Huh. Because usually it'll like show me a pop-up so that I know, and I didn't see anything. Well, thanks for being here. TLC is me. Thanks for being here. Oh, look at this OG. Steph B, member for 34 freaking months. And just for Steph, I'm going to say 34 fucking months. What? 34 months. So, yeah, so you were with me almost since the beginning because I started my channel in February of 2023. And I started going live, I believe, in April of 2023. So that's almost the whole time that I've been going live. Actually, almost since I started my channel. That's crazy. Shady, no, we don't have summer break until the end of June. This is Memorial Day weekend, so we have Monday off because it's a federal holiday, but because of unused snow days, we get tomorrow off as well. Some schools have actually a 5-day weekend, which is I'm very jealous of. Some of them had today, tomorrow, and Monday off. Others have tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday off. But I mean, I can't complain. We have a 4-day weekend, and when we get back on Tuesday, we will have 14 class days left, and then we have 2.5 weeks of state exams. And then I'm done for the summer, so it's exciting. It's exciting. Counting down. Hey, Nanny. I think I said hi to you, Nanny, but if not, hello again. KC Chiefs, thanks for being here. Evil Queen, member for 23 months, so she's almost an OG, almost 2 years. Thank you so much for supporting me that long. All right, I'm going to go quick. Yeah, and we don't start, Shady, we don't start school until the day after Labor Day. And this year, Labor Day is late, so I think we go back September 8th. I think whatever day is after Labor Day, but it's like a week later than normal. All right, so we are going to get started because I could just look at chat the whole time. So let me get rid of this. All right, so we're going to start with the story that I had mentioned in New York City of the woman who had parked her car. It was, I believe, around 11:30 p.m., so it was dark, which is another factor. Sorry, I lost my word for a second. Another factor that would have affected her ability to see well. Possibly if it was daylight, she wouldn't have stepped into the manhole. But they are looking into it, and they believe that what happened was a truck had driven over the manhole and somehow loosened it where the cap popped off. I mean, just, and then I'm seeing these sinkholes. There was a sinkhole at LaGuardia Airport. So they had the runway closed for, I know, most of yesterday. I don't know if it's opened yet. And then there was another sinkhole on the Long Island Expressway. I'm like, so now I'm like freaking out because you never know where there's going to be a sinkhole. Last year I talked about that woman who was looking for her cat behind this restaurant, and she stepped into a sinkhole. And unfortunately, she also lost her life. And her granddaughter was in the car while she was looking for the cat. So it was, I don't know, that's like a new fear of mine is sinkholes. All right, so let me get over here. So let's take a look.
Breaking news this morning in Midtown. Police say a woman was found dead after falling into an uncovered manhole.
We know that manhole operated by Con Ed. Aziza Schuler has been live at the scene for us this morning, and she's got new details for us now. Aziza.
Well, Chris and Cindy, I just want to point out that are all covered. As you can see, there are medical gloves scattered on the ground, as well as signs of repair to that middle one. But investigators say at least one of them was left open when the 56-year-old woman just stepping out of plunging into an open hole in
And I did hear on one of the clips that I had watched that it was 10 feet deep, which is a significant, I mean, it's a one-story fall. So yeah, Aziza. And I don't remember, there's an English term like taco cat, right? So like taco cat, if you spell taco cat backwards, you still get taco cat. So Aziza, if you spell backwards, is still Aziza. And there's a word for it, but I don't know what it is. So if any of you are like English people, let me know what it is, because I can't remember, but there is a word for that.
The street. And this morning, her family is left devastated, trying to understand how something so unthinkable could happen. I spoke briefly with her daughter-in-law here at the...
Right. So here you can see where she parked, and then she probably wasn't even paying attention. And my impression would be if she stepped back to close her door and then walked, and then it was just there. It was just right there. Smokin said, I don't think those covers would pop up like that. Somebody left it open or did it on purpose. Those covers are heavy. I think they probably left it open, and when the truck passed over it, it just flung off. Joe says, I live in the country. I always look at the ground before I get out. Snakes are everywhere. Ugh, snakes. Yeah, I would probably look down too if there were snakes around.
Scene this morning, and she was visibly shaking, telling me that this is still so...
Oh, so that gives a little bit better perspective. I did use this photo on the thumbnail as well. Yeah, because if she opened her door and like stepped, it's terrible. Absolutely
so fresh
terrible.
For their family, and that there were no cones, no warning signs, no barriers around that manhole. Police say the woman fell into a Con Edison manhole right outside the Cartier store around 11:19 last night. Officers found her unconscious and unresponsive. She was taken to New York Presbyterian, where she was pronounced, unfortunately, dead. She did not survive this. Con Edison sent us a statement saying in part, quote, we are deeply saddened to confirm that a member of the public has died after falling into an open manhole. We are actively investigating how this occurred. Our thoughts are with the individual's family, and safety remains our top priority. Now, the big question this morning, how does a manhole end up uncovered in one of New York City's busiest areas? According to New York City requirements, manholes are supposed to be covered and protected to prevent such a tragedy and other public hazard. So for
right. So in my opinion, someone didn't do their job correctly. And even I hate stepping on manholes, so I'll even, try to walk around them if I can, or if I have to go on the road, not to step on it, for this reason. Like, I'm afraid that it's not going to be secure and I'm going to fall into it. Evil Queen said, I thought there was steam in the tunnel. Maybe I heard wrong. I haven't heard that, but I have I have one more clip after this. And then I also have an interview. There's about a 7-minute interview with a man who was there and tried to help this woman. Palindrome, thank you. Palindrome is a word, phrase, verse, or sentence that reads the same backward or forward. Let's try some more palindrome riddles. Hey, Glow, how are you? I just watched your video that you posted yesterday, and I've got to say, I think you're doing the right thing. That woman, I mean, I don't know why she was so upset with you. Like, you were just being nice. So it seems like a her problem, not a you problem. Okay, TLC said I heard, oh God. Oh God. That makes it that much worse.
Now we are still trying to learn more details about these circumstances. We will bring you the latest on air and online once we learn more. For now, live in Midtown, Aziza Schuler, CBS News, New York.
Okay.
I was walking for 50.
Pause for a minute. Okay, so the interview from the witness that tried to help. Leslie says, or the manhole lid lip broke, trucks flip them if manhole structure fails. They are cast and will crack. Possibly. Oh, God. She died from the steam inhalation. You know what? Let me just find an article quick. We'll do an article quick. I am very unprepared. Thank you, chat, for... All right, let's see. For letting me know. Okay, so here's one from the New York Post from 2 days ago. Good grief, Emmy. Get your words together. Okay, so let me share this tab instead. So this was from 2 hours ago. So beloved grandma Donike Gocaj was on her way to work as a cleaner when she plummeted down New York City manhole. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Look at her. Beautiful lady. The beloved New York grandmother who died after falling into an uncovered manhole in Manhattan was heading to work for an overnight cleaning shift at the time. Donike, 56, plummeted to her gruesome death. Only the Post. Around 11:20 p.m. Monday in Midtown, where seconds earlier she had parked her car and started walking to her late-night job with a cleaning company. Sinner, are you still here? Look what you caused. Okay, look at these ads. Oh my gosh. She was on her way to work. She did cleaning the overnight shift. A friend of Donike's niece who works near the scene told the Post. Where exactly Donike was heading to work is unclear, but she had just parked her car on East 52nd Street outside of the flagship Cartier store near 5th Avenue when she fell. She worked for United Building Maintenance, a company that contracts with local businesses for cleaning services. The company declined to comment about her death. Man, she was so beautiful. Hey, Lise, how are you? I agree. It's very disrespectful. It's crude, but it's the New York Post. So I would expect nothing less. At this time, no comment, a representative told the Post. Donike from Briarcliff Manor in Westchester County was originally born in Albania, according to the family friend, who is also from the Balkan nation. The tragic death has left the Albanian community in New York feeling horrible, she said as she showed the Post photos of Donike on her phone. That dress is beautiful, too. Hey, Caudle. Thanks for being here. Shayna, good to see you. Thanks, everybody, for being here. And if you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do so. I would appreciate it. Donike's son had just gotten married last summer, and the proud mom was so happy. I can't stop thinking about it. I'm a mother, and my son is going to get married in a couple of months. One of Donike's friends posted a touching tribute on Facebook that revealed the mom had raised her 2 children alone since they were young. Bystanders jumped into action to try to pull Donike out after she plunged some 10 to 15 feet down the Con Edison maintenance hole and haunting... Come on! I'm not going to read that sentence. If you can see it on your screen, you can read it, but come on, Post. Do better. I'm not reading that out loud. I'm not putting that in the universe. First responders were able to pull her out about 20 minutes later, but were unable to save her. The Office of Chief Medical Examiner on Wednesday ruled that Donike died from a combination of injuries, burns that included scald burns, inhalational thermal injuries, and with blunt force trauma to her torso. Her death was ruled an accident. And of course, the horrific combination of injuries is consistent with a fall into the superheated steam often found within New York City manholes. Barbara Butcher, former chief of staff at the city's medical examiner's office, told the Post. Con Ed claimed that the cover, which was just feet away from the utility hole, was dislodged as a truck passing by just 12 minutes before Donike fell in. Well, the post, you should probably work on sentence structure instead of your bad choice of words, because that sentence does not make sense. We are reviewing the details, and while this is a rare occurrence, manhole covers can get displaced by heavy vehicles. Our thoughts remain with her family, and safety remains our top priority. What a terrible way to go. Good Lord. Good Lord. Okay. So let me just look at, oh, are you kidding? Come on, StreamYard. All right, give me one moment. I need to stop sharing and reshare because StreamYard is again not cooperating. Hey, Pookie, thanks for being here. Pookie's following people. I know, I wonder. I have that face too. Like, some of it I didn't even want to read. Like, no. Okay, so this next clip, this man was one of the bystanders who attempted to help. I have not watched this whole thing, so some of the details are going to be new to me as well. Lee says, I really hope this changes the way manhole covers are placed. They should have a locking device of some sort so they don't come off so easily from traffic. Agreed.
I was walking from 53rd Street, turned on 5th Avenue to 52nd Street, and I saw a lady get out of her black SUV. She closed the door behind her car and took a step forward, and just this happened. I was just
if
shocked.
I saw that, I would be like, did I really see someone get out of the car? Was it a shadow? Was there really a person there? I would question what I saw. Nanny says, I wonder how much those manhole covers weigh. You know what? Let me Google it. Average weight of a manhole cover. Okay, any day. All right, here we go. So a typical cast iron manhole cover weighs between 90 and 300 pounds, with the average city street cover landing right around 250 pounds. The weight varies significantly based on its size, load rating, and the material used. The most common 24-inch municipal covers generally weigh between 100 to 250 pounds, while heavy-duty highway covers can push well over 400 pounds. Composite and plastic can weigh anywhere from 20 to 90 pounds. Those are made from fiberglass or recycled materials. Steel covers weigh between 35 to 150 pounds. Typically, those are reserved for industrial sites or custom fabricated purposes. So pretty heavy. Pretty heavy.
When I ran over and saw that there was a manhole there and looked down in there and saw her. For me, I was texting, so I just looked up from my phone. I don't know why. I just looked up and I saw her getting out her car and it's like, to me, it looked like she just disappeared. That's how quick she just dropped it down over to see what was going on. I thought maybe she had fell. And when I saw the hole, I realized she actually had dropped into an open manhole. There was no cones. There was no barricades or anything. It was just, I couldn't see the hole from where I was. And when I came closer, that's when I saw it.
So how would
Stores down there. So I wouldn't say it was pitch black, but I was walking in that direction, and from me walking, I wasn't too far from her. I didn't see the hole, so I didn't see the ran over and realized, exactly what was happening.
Right. And thank goodness he did run over and check it out, because, eventually they would have realized like she was missing, but the fact that there were people there who tried to help. But hey, Citizen Sleuth, long time no see. Thanks for being here. Yeah, it is super heartbreaking. Absolutely.
And then tell us, what did you see when you walked over there? What did it look like, and what were you hearing?
So when I got to the hole, I looked down.
Okay, and actually this might be where, let me just change my banner, because this might be, there's no banner on this one, so let me actually add my banner. He may actually say what she said that I didn't read. So I just want to say, viewer discretion advised. This may be triggering. Nanny, they said between 10 to 15 feet.
Down, and I saw her on the floor at the bottom of this hole. Initially, I didn't think it was so far down because it felt like she was right there. She was screaming. Called 911 right away. Where people, while I was on the phone, and a lot of people came out of nowhere. At first, it was just me there. Once she started screaming and people realized what was going on, there was easily about 5 or 6 people there trying to help.
And then you call 911, right?
Yes, I spoke to EMS first, and then I spoke to the FDNY, and they arrived quickly. I mean, EMS was there. They got out the ambulance, looked into the hole. He realized there was nothing he could do, so he just told his partner to get the stretcher and put the stretcher next to the hole for when FDNY arrived and they get her out. So they had a stretcher there waiting. FDNY came, not more than 2 minutes after they arrived. So they were there.
So, the response time was very quick, and, the bystanders tried to do what they could. Let's see. What did Shayna say? I have a story of my daughter in an accident and fell in a manhole. It's too long to tell, but I'm so grateful she's alive. It was a scary night. I feel like that would be super scary. And it reminds me, it's similar, but it's definitely not the same. When baby Jessica fell down the well. I'm trying to think how that was. I was a kid and I remember watching it on TV. Let me just look that up quick. Jessica McClure. It was 1987. So I was like 9 when that happened. And it looks like baby Jessica was arrested about a month ago for domestic violence. We might have to read that after this.
Quickly.
And then what happened then?
FDNY took a ladder and they put it down in the hole. The truck that was there, that ladder overhead, when they arranged it to where it was over the hole, and they put a pulley, and it looked like one at a time. Maybe they had climbed down and tried to strap her into whatever device they had, and then they used the pulley to pull. It took about 20 minutes because it was, I guess, the space they were working with, and they had to put a mask on to go down there. And when one came up, he was sweating a lot, so I think they were dealing with some very high temperatures.
When she's down there screaming and you're trying to call 911, were there any other people that were trying to help?
Yes. So the guys that ran over, maybe 3 or 4 guys ran over, and they were telling her she's gonna be all right. They had the light on her. They were flashing the light from their phones or whatever light they had. one guy actually tried to get into the hole. He sat over the hole and dipped his body into the hole. And I guess he was trying to, like, down there, it doesn't look that deep. Maybe when he started going down into the hole, he realized how deep it was. I was on the phone at the time, but they had called me over to help pull him back up once he realized he just wasn't going to be. I think the idea was for try to get her to grab onto his legs, and maybe we could all pull him up. I think that's what they were doing. I was on the phone, I'm not sure, but we ended up just pulling him back up, and so they ran to the car and got a ladder that was too short. People were just trying to find whatever they could until the FDNY came. So they were talking to her, but once I got off the phone with EMS and FDNY, which was about maybe a 5-minute conversation between talking to them too.
Right.
I didn't hear anything else from her after the first 5 to 10 minutes. I didn't hear anything else.
And then how do you feel today after this, knowing what actually happened?
I mean, it was.
So, I mean, that doesn't look very secure to me. I mean, I don't know much about manholes, but I mean, this one looks a little worn, in my opinion. Yeah, Pookie, she had no chance. I agree, Nanny. A horrible way to go. And to know that, God, just
definitely, traumatic. I had to go to work. I was on my way to work, and I had to continue on to work after they pulled her up. In my mind, while I was standing there, I was thinking they were going to pull her up and everybody was going to cheer, because by the time it got to the point that they pulled her up, there were a lot of people out there at that point. So I'm thinking they're going to pull her up, everybody's going to cheer. When they pulled her up, it wasn't that at all. It was the opposite. She didn't look good at all. And, it was a very traumatic situation, because I was walking in that direction and I was texting, and I was looking online to see what happened with the story, to see what happened to her throughout the night, because I just want to see if she was all right. And, when I went online, a lot of people were like, oh, I bet she was texting. People are always in their phones. I bet she walked onto a construction site. And, part of the reason I'm doing the interviews, I just want to say that she wasn't. She had just stepped out of her car. She didn't have her phone. There was no cones, no construction site. And it was a split second. It really could have happened to anyone.
Wow. And there were no like barricades or like those, the orange poles and the orange cones and stuff that they put up on.
Hold, please. Nightbot. Oh my gosh. I'm not sure, Shayna, I am so sorry. I'm not sure why Nightbot timed you out for 5 seconds. Oh, stop spam. Okay, hold on a second. I need Oh, Nightbot, give me 1 second. I forgot I even had Nightbot as a mod. So it says stop spamming caps warning. I thought I turned that off. 1 second. Oh, Nightbot. Oh, Nightbot. Oh. All right. Turn that off. So blacklist words is on. Repetition, which we need in case we get trolls. All right. So now it should be good. Nightbot should behave. That was my bad. Block Nightbot. I did. Oh my gosh. Let me get. Oh, good. Now my chat completely disappeared on StreamYard. Fantastic. Lee says, I live in California, but every state has manholes. I don't know how to go about changing manhole standards and regulations, but I am definitely on board if someone does know. Let's make them safer.
Con Ed's working, there was nothing like that?
Nothing. And that's why I was kind of in shock when she got out her car and she just disappeared. If there were cones there, I probably would have said, oh, it was a hole. I didn't know what happened to her until I ran over and I had to be in front of this hole to see there was a hole there. That's how, it was nothing there to indicate that there would be a hole there. And I think, if I remember correctly, the lid was right there. The lid was on the side of the hole.
You saw the lid like that belonged on it, like the cover? You saw that?
Yeah, I didn't reach down and make sure that's what it was, but from what I was looking at, I remember thinking in my head, like, who took this lid off? Just thinking. So I'm thinking the lid was right there, just not on the hole. So I don't know what happened and why this was just an open hole that she fell into.
What do you want people to know about this from the situation? that you think we should be aware of?
I think that it's not always, even though it's important to not be in your phone and not and being distracted, which a lot of us are, that's not all it is. Because like I said, this lady was not in her phone. She didn't seem distracted at all. She was just in a bad place at a bad time. I mean, she parked her car somewhere where if she was 5 feet forward, this probably would have never happened. So I guess people just need to understand that even when you're paying attention in the city, you got to pay close attention, extra attention in this city, because you just never know, the dangers that are on these streets. There's so much construction and there's so much going on.
Okay, hopefully y'all can hear me now. StreamYard it wouldn't let me unmute. Oh, good grief. Okay. So I'm glad we watched that, because that gave a little bit more insight into, people actually, instead of just ignoring things, they actually sprung into action, tried to help this woman. The fact that someone had a ladder and was trying to use the ladder to get her out. They tried everything they could. And unfortunately, like the guy said at the end, like, she was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. And, just a few feet forward, she would still be here. She says, I would argue that manholes are safe. Walking into an open home is the issue here. Although walking into an empty home could have its consequences too. That is very true. That is very true. Okay, so this last clip was, it just talks a little bit more about Donike and kind of gives a little more information.
Now to that tragic death in Midtown Manhattan. A 56-year-old woman killed after stepping out of her SUV and plunging down an uncovered manhole.
Now tonight we're learning more about how that woman and what happened to her, and more about the woman who died as well. And as far as Jessica Cunnington joins us live now with the latest. Jess?
Just a new fear that's been unlocked for a lot of New Yorkers. But we are learning new information just moments ago from Con Ed, which has been investigating how this happened in the first place. Con Ed says it's reviewed surveillance video that seems to suggest that this manhole cover.
It almost looks like she has a green screen behind her. When and this is completely off topic, but when they were zoomed in, it kind of looked like a green screen. And then I was like, no, she's got to be on the street. But I don't know. It doesn't look like she's actually there. It could just be the way the angle is, but.
Was dislodged after a truck made the turn onto 52nd Street here just minutes before the woman involved, the woman who died, parked right nearby. A deadly freak accident in Midtown Manhattan. Police sources tell News 4 Donike Gocaj parked her car at 52nd and 5th last night, stepped outside into an open manhole, falling 10 feet down to her death. Her son came to the scene this morning and confirmed to News 4 the 56-year-old was his mom.
You're walking and you're paying attention to people around you. You're not necessarily looking down at the ground.
It's pure stupidity. If New York City was on top of it, they would have put cones around the pothole that was open, and this would have never happened.
Con Edison is now trying to figure out why it happened, releasing this statement saying, we are actively investigating how this occurred. Our thoughts are with the individual's family, and safety remains our top priority. Con Ed crews were seen covering up the manhole this morning.
More should be done.
The uncovered utility hole was steps away from Cartier and busy Fifth Avenue. This happened just before 11:30 last night. It's not clear why it was uncovered and how long it was like that before it caused this deadly accident.
I'm walking every day today right now being like, not stepping on these things.
And it makes me think that if it wasn't you know, the steam and the temperature, she probably would have survived. She may have had, you know, physical injuries. I don't think it would have been her life, though.
Scary and just so sad. Again, new information being released by Con Ed late this afternoon that says that surveillance video shows possibly this manhole cover being dislodged after a truck drove over it just minutes before this woman parked her car there. They do say that while...
Well, and I hope they release that surveillance video, because just because they say that's what appears to have happened doesn't mean that's what happened.
Well, it is a rare occurrence. Manhole covers can be dislodged and moved by heavy vehicles. They are still investigating this incident. Live in Midtown, I'm Jessica Cunnington, News 4 New York.
Pause. All right, let's see. Let me get over to chat quick, even though StreamYard is acting up still. She said, shoot, now it just jumped forward. It's the contrast from that loud pink dress. Yeah, that is a very pink dress, but it did look like a green screen a little bit. Evil Queen says, I used to walk on sewer grates and tell my grandson that's where it lives. Bad yaya. Oh, no. I will go over sewer grates too. Like, nope. Nope. I'll walk around if I can. Leap if I can. Hey, Green, how are you? Oh, you're not feeling well, lunatic? All right, so we're going to move on. I will keep an eye on that to see if Con Edison releases anything else. Specifically, the surveillance video that they claim shows a heavy truck may have dislodged the manhole cover. And, you know, hopefully Donike's family can somehow find peace. Lee says, make sure your keys are in your pocket, not your hand. Okay, so moving on. Actually, before we get to this video, I do want to get to the story about baby Jessica, because I had mentioned that earlier. And it just happened that she was arrested last month. So for those of you who may be too young to remember baby Jessica, she fell into a well. And gosh, I'm trying to think. It took quite a while to get her out. And, you know, when you see the side, it just seems so narrow. But she did. She was 18 months old, and it was October 14th, 1987. 1987. Let's see. Let me see if it says how many days on this. Okay. So I'll just share this tab instead. Okay, so I'll just read this for those of us who may not know about baby Jessica. So according to Google, baby Jessica McClure Morales, survived after falling 22 feet down an 8-inch wide well in Midland, Texas on October 14th, 1987. Rescuers spent nearly 60 hours drilling a parallel shaft and carefully chipping through rock to free the 18-month-old toddler. 4872. So like 2.5 days? 2 to 3 days? Her survival, widely known as a miracle, unfolded as follows. Capturing global attention, crews worked around the clock for 58.5 hours to reach her. She was safely pulled out on October 16th, 1987, after paramedics successfully bypassed the narrow opening. Due to loss of blood flow while stuck, she suffered severe damage to her right foot. Doctors avoided full amputation through extensive therapy and surgery, though they did have to remove one toe. She retains no memory of the event. Jessica has largely lived a private life in Midland, Texas as a mother. She received over $1 million in public donations, though she lost most of it in the 2008 stock market crash. In April 2026, she made headlines when she was arrested by the Midland County Sheriff's Office on a misdemeanor charge of assault causing bodily injury involving family violence. And there was where is it? Down here. We'll just read this quick little article, and then we'll get to the other stories that I have. So baby Jessica, now 40, arrested following domestic disturbance in Texas. This was April 14th. Jessica McClure Morales, who became famous as Baby Jessica after her 1987 rescue from a well, was arrested Saturday night following a reported domestic disturbance at her home in Midland County, Texas. Deputies with the Midland County Sheriff's Office responded to a residence just before 10 p.m. Arrest records indicate Morales, 40, was taken into custody at the scene. She has been charged with assault causing bodily injury involving family violence. And there she is. There she is. I don't think I've seen her since she was taken out of that well. Why is this? I don't know why this isn't getting smaller. There it goes. Gosh, computer, get together. Officials have released limited information about the incident. Midland County said it may take up to 10 days to process a request for the arrest affidavit, which is expected to provide additional details about what led to the charge. Morales was later released from the Midland County Detention Center after posting bond. The amount of the bond has not been disclosed. So there we have it. Nanny says, I think they had to make a hole beside the main hole and then go in sideways. Yeah, they had to like go across, and then, I mean, it was a process. I think Sinner had said it was on every TV in the house. We only had one TV in the house, but it was definitely on our TV. I just wanted her to be safe. All right. So the next story, we're going to change gears a little bit. This one, when I saw the headline, I shouldn't be surprised about some of these things, but this, I was a little shocked. Indiana man rented home next to brother in Santa Clara to kill him. So a man decided to rent a home next to his brother so that he could take his brother's life. You can't make this stuff up. Speaking of murder, I believe I'm going to cover the TikTok hitman for hire story that just happened a little bit ago. Turns out this TikToker went to hire a hitman, and the hitman ended up being an undercover law enforcement. So they are now not only the TikToker, but the TikToker's father is also a part of this story. So I think I'm going to look into that more and talk about that in a later stream. I believe this is Santa Clara, California. Yes, Lise. He killed his brother. He also set the house on fire. I didn't know about the second part. What in the world? What in the world? The TikToker, yeah, she's got sound. Hang on. StreamYard has lost connection again. Come on, StreamYard. Get your life together. She has long blonde hair. Let's see. Murder for hire. Gabriela Gonzalez. Oh, and her ex-boyfriend was also charged. I didn't realize the ex-boyfriend was a part of it too. So TikTok influencer Gabriela Gonzalez, her father Francisco, and her ex-boyfriend Kai Ferron Cordray were arrested and charged with attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and solicitation of murder targeting pop singer Jack Avery. The trio is accused of paying $14,000 on the dark web in 2021 to have Avery, the father of Gonzalez's child, murdered during a bitter custody dispute, though the plot was intercepted by an undercover FBI agent. Okay, I didn't realize it was FBI. I thought it was just an undercover officer. Authorities allege the plan was to stage Avery's death as an accident, claiming it would, quote, be cheaper if Avery were dead than continuing legal battles. The suspects face up to $2 million bail and, if convicted, a maximum sentence of 25 years to life in state prison. The ongoing legal proceedings are being handled by the LA County District Attorney's Office. So that is a story that I want to look more into. And yeah, so that's just a summary of it. Okay. My phone has been buffering so much lately. It's awful. Actually, I'm not even going to say anything about my computer because it's actually being good today. It's actually doing what it's supposed to do. It's StreamYard. That's the problem today. All right. So let me rewind this and we'll try this again.
Two brothers, one murderous plot. That is what Santa Clara police described today about a shooting and a house fire that erupted last week. Investigators say the suspect traveled thousands of miles to the South Bay, secretly rented a home next door to his brother, and eventually shot and killed him before taking his own life. Our crime reporter Henry Lee live at the Santa Clara Police Department with details on this disturbing case. Henry?
Yeah, disturbing indeed. Santa Clara police say this was a family dispute involving two estranged brothers, with the suspect ambushing his older brother as the victim was getting things from his own car.
Oh,
Santa Clara mourns.
My gosh. Can you imagine you secretly rent a house next to your sibling just so that you can take their life, and then you take your own life? I would assume that this person had some mental instability. I haven't looked much into this, so we'll see if there's any updates. But what in the world?
With you. A husband is gone, a father is gone, and no words from any of us can fill that absence.
Santa Clara Mayor Lisa Gilmore expressing sympathy to a family that's lost two relatives, one to gunfire, the other to suicide, while embracing a neighborhood still reeling from the deadly shooting and fire.
What happened on Enright Avenue was a deeply personal and private tragedy between two brothers, one that ended with devastating consequences for an entire family.
Detectives have concluded that this was a targeted homicide followed by suicide involving two adult brothers.
On Friday, officers found the victim, 52-year-old Mark Heflin, who had a wife and daughter, dead from gunshot wounds outside his home. Chief Corey Morgan says the killer was the victim's own brother, 49-year-old Matthew Heflin, who had been lying in wait.
After a brief verbal exchange, the suspect, who was concealing a firearm inside of a paper bag, opened fire.
The killing, authorities say, was part of a deadly plan hatched well in advance.
Investigators determined this.
Wow. So Indiana to California. I was thinking maybe he lived closer, but wow. Unbelievable. You know what? Let me see. I'm not sure if they see. Man. Let's see if I can find. Okay, so this is according to Google. 49-year-old Matthew Heflin traveled over 2,000 miles from Bloomington, Indiana to the San Francisco Bay Area. 52-year-old Mark Heflin, who lived on Enright Avenue with his family, was the victim. The brothers had been estranged for about 3 years. Matthew leased a short-term rental property next door to Mark's home. Neither Mark nor his family had any idea Matthew was staying right next door. On May 8th, Matthew confronted Mark outside the residence and fired 12 rounds. Matthew then retreated into the nearby rental, set a rear bedroom on fire, and died by suicide. Authorities searched the suspect's home in Indiana, but no notes or manifestos were found to explain a motive. Investigators recovered a passport, ammunition, manufactured fire logs, 4 pistols, and $95,000 in cash at the burned rental house. Details of the suspect's trip and the crime scene are documented in coverage from ABC 7 News and SF Gate. It says this incident parallels a similar cross-state tragedy from April 2023, where a California man drove to Utah and secretly shot his brother at his home before engaging in a fatal shootout with police. So it doesn't say anything like what caused their estrangement, but what the heck? What the heck? So this was actually several weeks ago. It just came across my feed. Wow. Wow.
In a rental vehicle carrying multiple firearms and ammunition.
Police say the suspect had stayed in the greater San Jose area for several weeks before renting the home next door to his brothers in the 3 days before the attack.
And what are the chances that there was a short-term rental next to where his brother lived? It could be that maybe this man knew that it was a short-term rental and he just waited until there was an opening for him to move. Like, what the heck? What the heck? Cottle says concealed in a paper bag. He watched too many mob movies. Pure driven evil. I agree. Most murders are over love, money, or opportunity. And I mean, $95,000, that's a lot of cash to have. And then just to burn it, like to take your life and burn it. Let me see if there's because this video was recent. Let me see if there's a recent. So 6 days ago. I think that's the same video we're watching. So this must be the most up-to-date.
Family members were not aware the suspect was staying next door at any point.
Police say after shooting his brother, the suspect set the rental home on fire in a rear bedroom using fire logs he had delivered to him. He then killed himself. A gun was found near his body and another in his waistband. Police also found 2 other guns and $95,000 in cash, but the significance of the money still unclear. Authorities searched the suspect's home in Indiana, but did not find any notes or manifestos that would reveal a motive. Now, if all of this sounds familiar, there was a similar tragedy in San Bruno just a few months ago. In that case, a man shot and killed his brother, set a home on fire, and then committed suicide.
Wow.
Live in Santa Clara, Henry Lee, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Wildness. Wild. All right, so let me actually just take a look at this one article to see if it says anything different. It seems like Google and the news, the video we just watched had the same exact information. Let's see. So looks like this article just has the same thing that the clip had. Okay, so it says, police are still investigating a big question that remains. They know what the brother did. They still don't know why. So they are still looking into why the estranged brother decided to travel to California to take his brother's life and then his own. Why not just stay in Indiana? You're 2,000 miles apart. I don't get it. Lee says he couldn't have moved next door, but a short time before he did this. Right, I would think. And that's one thing they didn't say is how long he had been in that house. I guess they probably know if there was a, rental agreement. Chi says that house in San Jose is probably worth $1.5 million. Well, I've been watching Selling the OC. It's a show on Netflix. And one second, please. All right, sorry about that. My cat Patty decided that she was going to dump all of my colored pencils on the floor, and now she's batting them around. Oh my gosh. All right, so wild, absolutely wild. So I have 2 more stories. The next one is a deathbed confession. And the last story I have is about an Arizona Marine who walked 6 miles to save the family dogs. So 2 more stories, and then we are going to wrap this up.
Thank you, Doug. Well, first on 4029, a deathbed confession has crews in Crawford County searching for a body.
4029's Brett Rains was the first to learn about the ongoing search, and he has the latest from the sheriff and why he's asking for help from the public.
Crawford Sheriff says crews are searching an area near Chester for the body of a 13-year-old boy. The sheriff says a tip came in that the boy's body was dumped in a pond and that it happened back in the 80s. But right now, investigators do not know who they're looking for. They do not have any missing persons reports from back then, and they're asking for the public to help.
Wow, can you imagine? So that would tell me if there's no missing persons report in that area from back in, unless the guy was lying, but it could be, but they're saying they know the boy's 13, so you would think they would be able to figure out where he was from, but maybe not. Craziness.
I'm pretty confident there's a body in the pond after the dogs alerted the way they did. I'm pretty confident there's a body in.
Dive teams are searching this pond for human remains, possibly of a 13-year-old boy. The pond is on private land not far from I-49 near Chester. Crawford County Sheriff Daniel Perry says it might have happened before the interstate was even built.
The guy was on his deathbed and told his sister that he had killed this 13-year-old. Supposedly the two were out camping. Some things happened, and he was hit in the head with the rock and pushed in the pond. Early 80s, late 80s, all the guys said on his deathbed that it happened in the 80s.
This is our 27th.
Okay, so you would think if the boy wasn't related to this man who had the deathbed confession, that some family would be missing a 13-year-old son. It's just strange. I mean, was it a true confession? Was he actually lucid when he said that? I mean, the one guy believes that there is a body in the pond, but then I think, I'm going to Google, how, I feel like water would cause bone, because bone is porous, to disintegrate, but all right, how long do bones I don't know how to even word it. It's so weird. Okay, so bones typically last anywhere from a few months to several decades in water. Because bone is porous, it breaks down quickly in aquatic environments. However, the exact lifespan varies wildly based on water chemistry, temperature, and aquatic life. In warm, well-oxygenated water with high levels of bacteria and marine life, bones can be entirely stripped and destroyed in as little as a few weeks to months. In the deep, dark, and frigid ocean, or highly acidic bogs, soft tissue degrades differently, but bone can persist for years or even decades, often serving as a habitat for deep-sea organisms. In very specific mineral-rich or freezing conditions, bone can mineralize into fossils over thousands of years. But it doesn't say anything about ponds. I would assume pond is cold water, but So it is possible that they would be able to find human remains in this pond. Thanks, Lise. I try to cover different stories, have like the main story, and then my watch list is so long that I try to put, kind of similar stories together. Thanks, I Wonder. I appreciate that.
Search for 2026. 90% of our jobs are in Arkansas.
Members of the Missouri-based nonprofit 3R Canine Search Foundation were called out to help.
The dog's nose is just going to be an invaluable tool. When a dog's out on a search, they're able to discriminate the human remains odor compared to anything else, even animal remains.
Divers were sent into the water after dogs alerted on a specific part of the pond. As of now, crews have not yet located any human remains.
The body's been in there for 30, 40 years, and it's possibly covered with soot and mud and not a lot probably left of it. So that's kind of been a challenge for the divers.
Perry says every tip and every lead must be taken seriously, but he says right now investigators do not have any previous reports to go on.
We've gone to the library and looked at newspaper articles. We've contacted the FBI. We've contacted several agencies, all the agencies around here. It could be.
And that makes me wonder, like, was the boy from around there? Did this man, although I'm assuming they're checking, nationwide as well, but was he a family friend? Was he a stranger? I mean, there's so many questions that would need to be answered. Wild. She says we need a fluff. Oh, we always have a fluff story at the end. We always have a feel-good story at the end.
A kid from somewhere else. Back then, we had handwritten reports. More than likely, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children wasn't a thing. The Morgan Nick Foundation obviously wasn't a thing. All those resources we have now weren't available then.
The sheriffs.
I didn't think about that. Like NCMEC wasn't a thing back then. He said another foundation wasn't a thing back then. So you would have to go through all of those paper records, and who knows if they even still exist.
Says the search will continue until investigators are confident there are no human remains in that pond. And of course, if you have any information, you're asked to call the Crawford County Sheriff's Office. In Van Buren, Brett Rains, 4029 News.
And the fact that the man was specific about the pond and location, and then as they were showing the pond, I was thinking, like, has the pond changed in 40 years? Was it smaller? Was it bigger? Was it the same? Because, this man said he pushed him in, but, maybe it's changed. We don't know. Yeah, Nanny, I remember that. They put the missing kids on milk cartons. And I remember seeing them, and I think, I was so young, I don't think I understood the gravity of why those children were on the milk carton. Like, because it would say missing, or like, have you seen me? You would see, even like in the stores, you would see on their, like, the bulletin boards, all the missing posters, and you know, as a kid, I don't think I realized really what it meant. Wasn't Johnny Gosh one of, I'm not sure. Let me see. Yes. Johnny Gosh. His picture was among the first to be featured on milk cartons as part of a campaign to find missing children. And there was actually an article in 2022, 40 years later, still a mystery. Where is Johnny Gosh? He was pictured on a milk carton next to another paper boy, 13-year-old Eugene Martin, who vanished 2 years after Johnny under nearly identical circumstances. Huh. That might be interesting to look at. So Eugene Martin. And Johnny Gosh. Johnny. Interesting. It's sad to, like, just to see how many, you know, I looked up Johnny Gosh, and then there's Andrew Gosden. That was a question that appeared underneath. Oh, there's actually an article about the milk carton kids. Missingkids.org. Which is through NCMEC. Well, here, let's take a look at this quick. So William Charles Cordes, Rima Danette Traxler. So William was from Placerville, California. Rima was from Longview, Washington. 1984 and 1985, they were missing. Oh, this is from 2024. So back in the mid-1980s, before the creation of the Amber Alert system and much before a photo of a missing child popped up on your cell phone via social media, photos of missing children began circulating a different way on an item nearly every family had on their breakfast table, a milk carton. Following a string of tragic events in the late 1970s and early 80s, the epidemic of missing children across the U.S. became increasingly apparent. Shocked and heartbroken from their own experiences, affected parents and a team of child advocates were prompted to take action. Their efforts sparked a powerful movement which culminated in the creation of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in 1984. With the public's growing concern, many people and companies became eager to assist, looking for new ways that they could spread the word about missing kids. And for a local dairy company in Iowa, that's exactly what they set out to do. In September 1984, Anderson Erickson Dairy, local to Des Moines, Iowa, decided to use something they had right at their fingertips to push forward the mission. According to the Des Moines Register, the company decided to print 2 missing boys on the side of their milk cartons. For them, it was close to home because the featured boys, Johnny Gosh and Eugene Martin, were local. Both boys had been abducted on their paper route. Martin less than a month earlier in August 1984, and Gosh in 1982. There we have it. The original half-gallon milk carton seemed to inspire a movement. According to the Register, just a few weeks later, more dairy companies across Iowa began to participate. The program started to spread, hitting cities like Chicago and reaching as far as California. According to the National Child Safety Council, by December 1984, their nonprofit took interest and expanded the program by initiating the first nationally coordinated Missing Children Milk Carton program. Within weeks, the National Child Safety Council had partnered with more than 700 dairy manufacturers across the country responsible for circulating cartons nearly everywhere. And what was printed on the carton? A toll-free hotline number for a brand new child protection organization. the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That is very interesting. All right. I'll share this if you want to read the rest. I will share this link in chat. Least Pookie is Spitfire. Pookie is Spitfire. I don't know. And my browser has lost connection again. All right. Let me stop sharing, and then as I said, I have one last story for us. Oh, I don't think I finished the last story, but that's okay. Excuse me, give me 1 second. Okay. So the last story, as I said, is about an Arizona Marine who walked 6 miles to rescue the family dogs. Because as we know, there was a wildfire in Arizona. All right. Hopefully you can hear the video. If not, let me know. But StreamYard seems to be working fine right now.
Yeah, good evening to you guys. We are right on a hill that is just a little bit of feet away from the eastbound lanes of the US 60, as you mentioned, both westbound and eastbound lanes completely shut down right over my shoulder here. This is right where the 60 and the 74 east meet. I think we're maybe 5 to 6 miles east of the town of Wickenburg. Of course, the Jones fire burning just south of downtown Wickenburg in a river bottoms, about 100 acres. The fire is about 100 acres in length right now. But what you're looking at right now is this cutoff point. The Arizona Department of Transportation and state troopers are not allowing anybody entry past the town of Morristown, again, right where the 60 and 74 meet, into Wickenburg. It's just completely shut down right now. Let's take it to video now. We talked with the man here on your screen's wife. This is Kurt Gregory. He was parked over here, I would say about 30 to 45 minutes ago. He decided to just get out of his car and start walking on foot, making the 5 to 6 mile trek into where he lives, which we understand from talking to his wife, Nancy, is an area that is on set status. They are not on go status, so they are not in an immediate evacuation zone, but they are prepared to go. He had life-saving medications. He has a dog at home. He has a guitar he wanted to save from potentially flames. So he had a lot of reason to get out of his car right at this stoppage point and immediately take off to his home and gather those life-saving belongings. Take a listen to what Nancy told us as she saw her husband get out of the car and make that trek in the heat. Take a listen.
Pretty anxious. I don't like him out there. I mean, I know he could do it because he walks, we walk in the heat, we hike, we do things, but that's still a lot. Right. That's a lot.
And did it come as a surprise to you when you first approached the ADOT worker and said, can we come through? This is where we live, that they didn't allow you entry?
It was a little surprising. Yeah, it was. But it looks like there are more people there now. So it looks like we got a hive mind. So more people in.
What is your understanding of the current situation? You went back down there and asked, and what did they say?
They're checking your ID. If your address is within the set zone, not the go. If you're in the go zone, they're not going to let you through because there's a lady over here who lives downtown Wickenburg and she can't get back home because that's where the fire is, the evacuation is. So but I can go.
So that was an interview we did just about 10 minutes ago. Of course, Nancy at this point now was able to get into her car. She was allowed through the closure here. And at this point, I suspect is with her husband, who was already 3 miles in on foot. We talked to him by phone. He's a former Marine. He said that it was really instantaneous for him to just pick up his water bottle, immediately go, because that's what was necessary. As I mentioned, about 45 minutes to an hour ago, when they were not allowing anybody past this blockade on the 60. Of course, as Nancy mentioned there, it's our understanding that if you are living in an area that is a set status area or further to the east, they will allow you entrance. But if you're in one of those go evacuation zones closer to downtown Wickenburg, too close to the actual games that they're trying to who's allowed to path right now if you're on the pier as you're allowed into the town of Wickenburg. We'll send it back to you guys.
Yeah, well, it's tough to tell a Marine he can't do something.
Yeah.
you know, especially when he sees her way around an obstacle, you know. But I was just thinking about it too. So because they were in set, all he would have had to have done is gotten to the house. Then he could have gathered things. And if they were in go, he could grab the dogs and probably drive out in a different car or get a ride or something. So he wouldn't be walking both directions, right?
I think that was his goal, was to just get to the house. And then I think they would allow him to drive from his home eastbound on the 60 back to this blockade, where at this point there's a line of cars and trucks and semi-trailers. It's really just an unknown right now as to how long this closure will be in place. But it is right now. And I think people are rolling up to it, maybe not even knowing that there's a fire in Wickenburg and having to be faced with potentially making a decision here. So
keep us posted.
Good work, Sean.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh.
Disruptions continue at LaGuardia tonight after
we'll get to that a different day, if we get to it at all. So that is all I have got for you. I was a little disappointed I hadn't watched the news story before the live. I was a little disappointed because I thought there would be more about like the dogs, and the title was a little misleading. It said, but the operative word was decides to walk 6 miles. So I just assumed that the title meant he walked 6 miles to get the family dogs. But it's my understanding that as he was about 3 miles in, they allowed traffic to go to the set zone. And so he could have walked the other 3 miles, but I don't know. I thought it was a little misleading. So let me just look at chat and then we are gonna call it a day. I thank everybody for being here. I do appreciate it, especially because I have been so sporadic with going live. But I really wanted to talk about the woman who lost her life by falling into that manhole, because it could have been any one of us. Any one of us. And, you know, she just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. She says, that's the love of a man and a dog, never what happened with the cat. I would do that for my cats. I would definitely do that. Pookie says, I'd get my walker out to save my babies. Sinner says, the best word to describe the average wife of a Marine, patient. What did Why Wonder say? Oh, I gotta go up more. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, Why Wonder was telling Lise and Sinner that they appreciate, I say she, it looks like your profile picture is a female. She appreciates their service, as I feel we all do. Takes a special person, in my opinion, to go into the military, because I know for sure I would not be able to do it. All right, y'all. Well, thanks so much for being here. I do appreciate it. If you have not hit that like, please do so on your way out. Actually, let me get an outro song, because I don't monetize these streams. So let me just go. I was actually thinking about Papa Roach the other day. Let me see if they have anything from Papa Roach that I can play. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Let's see, browse. And if not, I'll just pick one from okay. All right, we're just going to go with a different one because they don't have the one I want. And I feel like the ones they have are going to be a little too angry for the end of my stream. So, let's see. Oops. All right, there we go. You know what? I think we're going to go with a cover of Maroon 5. I think that's what we're going to do. So let me get over here. Hopefully you can still hear me. Let's see. Because I'm trying something new here. So hopefully you can still hear me. If not, let me know. And why is that on the screen? That should not be on the screen. That should not be on the screen. Ugh. One moment, please. One moment, please. Why is that on the screen? Nope. What in the actual heck? Un momento. So whatever I did the last time is not working the way I want it to. Oh, now I just added myself. Nope, don't want that. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Why is it doing that? All right, well, I don't know. All right, well, I'm just going to have to do it a different way because I don't know what the heck's going on. All right, y'all. Well, have a great rest of your day, night, morning, wherever you may be. If you are watching this on the replay, #replay. And until next time, y'all, I will see you on the flip side.
I'm hurting, baby. I'm broken down. I need your loving, I need it now. When I'm without you, I'm something weak. You got me begging on my knees, yeah. I don't wanna be needing your love. I just wanna be deep in your love. And it's killing me when you're away. Ooh, baby, cause I really don't care where you are. I just wanna be there where you are. And I gotta get one little taste.
You sugar, yes please. Won't you come and put it down on me? I'm right here, cause I need little love, a little sympathy. Won't you show me good loving, make it alright. Need a little sweetness in my life. You sugar, yes please. Won't you come and put it down on me? My broken pieces, you pick 'em up. Don't leave me hanging, come give me some. Yeah. When I'm without you, I'm so insecure. You are the one thing I'm living for.
I don't wanna be needing your love. I just wanna be deep in your love. And it's killing me when you're away. Ooh, baby, cause I really don't care where you are. I just wanna be there where you are. And I gotta get one little taste.
You sugar, yes please. Won't you come and put it down on me? I'm right here, cause I need little love, a little sympathy.
Won't you
Show me good loving, make it alright. Need a little sweetness in my life. You sugar, yes please. Won't you come and put it down on me? I want that red velvet, I want that sugar sweet. Don't let nobody touch it unless that somebody's me.
I gotta be a man. There ain't no other way. 'Cause girl, you're hotter than Southern California day.
I don't wanna play no games. You gotta be afraid. Don't give me all that shash, no makeup on. That's for sure.